Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, April 23rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also for those of you that trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candle that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. Meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, AGBA. And what a great breakout today. This will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the video from Friday, but I talked about that resistance line right there. And you can see this morning it came up, broke through there, and then just an absolutely beautiful breakout. So definitely updates need to be done. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And actually, I'm just going to get rid of that level too because from more of a near-term standpoint in terms of levels of support, the ideal level, let me change that to green to represent support. But the ideal level, when we say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? And that would be if the price can stay above $1.88. Now, don't get me wrong. If the price falls below that level, does not mean the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. But like I said, best case scenario would be if the price can stay above there. However, from the overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line right there. 50-period moving average as support, keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant, as time goes on. But at the end of the day, as long as the price is staying above that overarching quote-unquote trend line, then the overall price is still plenty in a bullish movement. Next one, SQQQ, finally had more of a pullback today, but where it pulled back to would be expected, and it behaved like you would want to see it behave. So where did it pull back to? And again, this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but you know that I've been talking about, and actually what I just talked about in the previous one, from the overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line. So here's what I mean by that, and I wish I could say I coordinated this to provide this lesson, but that would be a lie. I didn't coordinate it this way, but it provides exactly what I'm talking about. So from the overarching standpoint, bigger pullback, but notice what happened. Got down around that purple line and now got a nice little bounce. So overall, even with the pullback, things are still perfectly fine. Now in the very near term, this level of support here would now be considered an area of resistance, not just based on foundational rules and charting. When levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. You can see that played out actually perfectly right here. Last 30 minutes, the price is now struggling with 1250. So on that note, moving forward, that initial area of resistance is going to be right there at 1250. And if the price can push up through that area, then at that point, you can start to put more focus up here around, the $13-ish mark. But one hurdle at a time, and the price, again, first has got to break up through there. And then in terms of areas of support, already talked about that. Ideally, you definitely want to see the price now stay above that purple line, but so far, so good. So overarching, just to give a little more context, you can see that, this thing is still very much so in an overall uptrend. So yeah, today, rough pullback, but all things considered, it is still putting in those higher lows. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and the downtrend just continues, lower low after lower low. So what I'm going to do is just adjust these levels down because they both serve their purpose and they're both have been broken. But in the near term, as far as supports are concerned, nothing fancy or complicated in regards to the logic other than just asking a basic question. Where did the bleeding finally stop today for the bulls? And the bleeding finally stopped right down there at those lows from this morning, which came out to, let's just call it 138.75. So like I said, no fancy logic, just where did the bleeding stop? 138.75. So because of that, that'll be that main area of support. If this does roll back over, maybe you can get some sort of double bottom. Because, come on, Tesla, it's got to be done going down at least temporarily for a little bit, doesn't it? But I've been thinking that, and this thing just continues to put in lower low. So brutal movement. And then in terms of areas of resistance, the level that I think is most important right there at 143.50. If the price can get a good keyword here being high volume break of 143.50, then I think it's got a great chance of at least getting over those highs. But from the overarching standpoint, continue to watch that purple line, which I know on the previous couple, that's been the main area of support. But because the price is below it, in this situation, this would be the main area of resistance. So even if the price does break up through 143.50, I'd still be very skeptical because you have that looming moving average up ahead of that 50-period moving average. Next one, NIVF, and overall hanging in there just fine. Now, a little bit of perspective. If you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 3 minutes, well then from that perspective, yeah, the chart's looking pretty rough. But from bigger picture point of view, everything is holding up there just fine and actually have a nice little pattern here that's formed. So I'm going to go ahead and use that line right there as a key area of resistance, part of the pattern. That area right there as the area of support. So again, let me change that to green and then maybe make this easier to see. Let's just keep it all one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big move up for you golfers. Try to make it a little bit more visual. Put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So while there are no guarantees, is it plausible? Is it valid to think that if the price comes up to the top part here and gets the break, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. So if you like stocks down below $5, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, AMC, very nice break. And let me take this back. Very nice break back here on Friday. And then as the rule states, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Classic example here. You could throw it right into a text. Look at that. Right off that former area of resistance. Then this morning, right off that area. So definitely a good little example here on the power of charts, but I will get rid of that level for now as we have more near-term levels. So from the overarching standpoint, you probably know what I'm going to talk about now. As far as supports are concerned, just watch that purple line as it continues to trend higher and higher, and as it just moves in the upwards direction. Visualize that as a trend line that's drawn itself for you, and you can see here now, although it has never been exact, the price has gotten down around that general area a few times now, but so far so good. It's done a fantastic job holding, and you want to see that continue to be the case. And as long as that is the case, then you can make the argument that the bulls are maintaining their control. Now, not in the sense of going straight up, because nothing can go straight up, but at least in putting in those higher lows. Now, as far as areas of resistance are concerned, main battleground to watch moving forward, just going to be where the party stopped today, right up there at $3.50. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, all things considered, once again, a new day, new highs, higher lows. So from a trend building standpoint, AMC's got some good things going on right now. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for my free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the page you can use to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. Next one, CLSK, and this thing has been just a big old grind, and I want to get a level mapped out here. And then also map out this right here. So what we have is essentially this upwards channel here, and as I speak, you can see interesting action. The price is basically just cruising on the top part of the pattern. And what makes this resistance interesting is theoretically the price could never break above that resistance, but the chart could remain in an uptrend because that resistance right there has an upward slope to it. But what I found interesting is just how the price is really respecting that level. I mean, it just can't quite get any sort of bigger separation. Not that that matters because, again, it could continue to do this, and yet it's still going to be going upwards. But my main question mark is the failing here to get any sort of separation, is that a leading indicator of a bigger pullback that needs to come? Now, when I say pullback, I don't mean a crash or a reversal, just simply a pullback. I mean, here's a pullback, proved to be healthy. There's another pullback, proved to be healthy. So just to differentiate, pullback does not mean the end of the world, but that's what I'm very wondering right now is, okay, sorry, I should have changed this to green because this is actually a support. There we go. But as it continues to kind of be stuck on this area of resistance, is it going to continue to just kind of cruise above it, or is it going to eventually get the pullback there? But all things considered, nice steady grind, higher highs and higher lows, so looking good so far. Next one here, MTTR. I'm not sure what to think of this one in the sense of a watch, just because this thing is either going to just kind of, because it got so boring. So I mean, opening 30 minutes, look how exciting that was, and now it just kind of has gone into sleep mode. But just because things go into sleep mode doesn't mean it's over. Those are those situations where you kind of forget about them, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, I forgot about it, because you're looking at some sort of real nice move. But want to get it thrown out there, and if you like these situations, I mean, you have a pretty well-defined resistance right there in terms of what could be broken, and then in terms of levels of support. Like I said, just a very, very tight range here, which makes it interesting in and of itself. Big opening 30 minutes, and then you have this little tiny wedge here. So maybe you're like, no, I don't like these ones at all. I can completely see that. Maybe you do like these because you know that, yeah, sometimes all of a sudden these things wake up and boom, it could be making, rocking and rolling again. But either way, if you like these circumstances, then MTTR is certainly one of those, that's interesting. Next one, MARA, and very nice mover today, especially when you consider how rough the opening part of the day was. Pulled all the way back down here, and then it's just been grinding. And what's very interesting here is what's going on right now. This is why I like to do these when the market's still open, because the price is now actually up above that pink line, that 200 period moving average. Take note what it was happening before. Rejected, 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 but now it's up above it, which leads us to be able to ask a very exciting question. Is this the start of something even bigger? Now think about that question. If nothing worthwhile happens, then it makes no sense to ask, oh, is this the start of something bigger? Because, well, nothing has happened. But in this situation, something has happened. It's broken above that moving average. It's up above it. Now, to be fair, maybe it isn't the start. Maybe this thing just rolls right back over. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, maybe it is, and this thing's getting ready to rock and roll to the upside. So very nice recovery. It's gotten the break up above that very stubborn level, which you can see failed 3 times before. So is this the start of an even bigger breakout? Let's see what happens. Next one, RIOT, and I know these two are linked within the crypto sector. And this is what I'm getting at here. Is this one actually broke above it this morning, it being that 200 period moving average pink line. And you can see just a huge breakout. Does that mean that for sure that's going to happen on MARA? Of course not, but just to kind of give a little parallel about what could potentially happen if the break of that 200 period, what it could look like if it is the start of something bigger, then here we have RIOT right here. So as far as key levels now moving forward on this one from a support standpoint, the ideal level of support, once more, that level that would make this chart definitely look the strongest going forward would be if the price can stay up above 1050. And then from more of the overarching level, completely irrelevant right now given how far it's down there. But again, because that is a moving average, that purple line will move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant as time goes by. But, the most relevant level right now, right there at 1050 as far as supports are concerned. And then in terms of areas of resistance, I realize the chart's getting hard to see here, but this is a good problem to have when you have to go back this far into a chart's history. But the next key area of resistance right up there around $11.40, which is essentially this gap close location back here. So keep an eye on 1140 as the main area of resistance, but very, very impressive movement to think that just a couple days ago, price was down here. Now it's all the way up here. So we'll see if the momentum continues. Next one, TQQQ. Nice bounce today, although latter part of the day, pretty rough as it's rolling back over. And then as I speak, you can see the 30-minute is actually going to new lows right here. So more of a pullback here. And the thing is this 50-90-ish area was a level of resistance, but because the price is actually now back below there, I got to leave that as resistance and still consider that an area of resistance. Now, I would agree that it's been a weakened area of resistance given the price was able to break above it and spend all this time above it. But given this last 30 minutes has pushed the price back down below it, 50.88 is going to be and still is that near-term level of resistance. If the price can try to curl itself back upwards, then once again, you're going to want to watch very closely that purple line there, 50-period moving average as a key area of resistance. As far as supports are concerned, what I'm very curious on the week is, let's see if the price can at least maintain above that trend line right there. So I'm going to, ideally track that one for the week. Now, I guess on Tuesday, if the price just destroys down through there, then there's no point in tracking it. But as long as the price does stay above that line, I think that's going to be a trend line that's very, very interesting to keep an eye on. And I think a lot of other people are potentially watching that. So maybe you get some self-fulfilling prophecies. But those are going to be the main dynamics here. 50.88 main area of resistance, followed by the 50-period moving average. And then you'll want to keep an eye on that overall trend line. So if you're Bitcoin traders, I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second. But for those of you that trade stocks, then definitely, again, go get signed up for that free class later on in the week. It'll be Thursday, April 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So like I said, go get signed up. Now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification point. We're no longer looking at the 30-minute time frame. We are looking at the 4-hour time frame. I mean, each one of these represents 4 hours. And because Bitcoin is open 24/7, I want this analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible. So on that note, I'm just going to operate under the idea that you're watching this video 10, 15, 20 hours from now. So Bitcoin has had a very good weekend. It's gotten back up above that purple line there. Very good sign. And because it's gotten back up above there, and along with this area of resistance, that's where the first update comes into play. 64,500 would now be considered an area of support. So question number one you need to ask yourself is this. So let's just say you're watching this video 15 hours from now. Where's the price at relative to 64,500? If you're answering the question that the price is above there, fantastic. That means worst case scenario, it's pulled back and is now just consolidating out. Now, if you're answering the question, well, where's the price? If you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below 64,500. Next immediate question, all right, where's the price at relative to 61,300? If somehow you're answering the question that the price is down below that level, that would tell you that this move here has been completely wiped away and things are looking really, really nasty. I don't think that'll be the case, but nonetheless, those would be the first initial questions. Now, ideally, and what I'm expecting you're going to be answering the question of is, yes, the price is above 64,500, but then the key question becomes, okay, well, where is the price at relative to that pink line there, that 200-period moving average? If you're answering the question that the price is up above there, that is a very good sign. It shows that there's been a breakout. How good of a sign? How much quality of a breakout? Well, how far up above the pink line is it? Very basic logic there. The further up above that pink line, that would just be telling you that not only a breakout has happened, but it's been a very, very powerful breakout. But very nice weekend. So now all eyes on that pink line right there. And like I said, if you're watching this 15, 20 hours from now, you're probably going to have your answer. You're going to know, has the price broken above there? Has it not? But like I said, all things considered, nice weekend here for Bitcoin. And as I invited the stock traders, I am inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader, because what you learn about in this class definitely can and should be used in the world of Bitcoin and crypto also. So like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, April 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So go get signed up. If you enjoy these top 10 videos plus Bitcoin, hit that like button, leave a comment below, even if you just say hi, tell me your watch list for tomorrow, tell me what you traded today. But those things help out with the channel. And anything like that is always encouraging, and just like I said, helps out the channel. So do those couple things and go get signed up for that free class. Have a good one.